We're in Parsha Vayeira, and we're reading about the story about Avraham Avinu. And of course we know that Avraham Avinu was tested constantly by the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And there's a story in the Talmud that David HaMelech had a conversation with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And he told Hashem, listen, that's not fair. I looked in the Siddur, and it says in the Siddur, when I pray Shmona Esrei, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov. How come I want to be there too? That's not fair that it's only them. I think it should be Elokei Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Elokei David. What, I'm any less than them? He had a good te'ana, because we know that the forefathers were what's called a merkava, a chariot. A chariot cannot run on three wheels, so David HaMelech is the fourth chariot. So David HaMelech told the Kadosh Baruch Hu, I think I should be there too. What do you say? Maybe we'll change the nosach of the prayer. So Hashem told him, listen, don't compare yourself to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, you don't compare yourself to them, because you know what's the difference between you and them? That the forefathers I have tested, and you I didn't test. So David HaMelech says, no problem, bring it on, give me a test. So Hashem says the same thing, oi oi oi, you want a test? I'll give you a test. Just know that I'm warning you. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, I didn't warn them. You're getting a warning. You want a test? Yes, I want a test. No problem. The next day, David goes up on the roof of Beit HaMikdash with a cup of tea, drinks his cup of tea, and whoop, he looks on the other side of the building. He sees a beautiful young lady taking a shower on the top of the house, and the rest is the roof, and the rest is history. Of course, he ran after Bathsheba, and he didn't stop running after her till he made a sin. The Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you wanted the test? No problem, I'll give you a test. So needless to say that our sages teach us, לעולם לא יבוא אדם לבקש לידי ניסיון. A person should not put himself in a place of a ניסיון. Every morning when we say ברכות השחר, what do we say? ואל תביאני לידי ניסיון. Please don't bring me to a test. So our sages say, this can be found in the Gemara, Rav Yehuda said in the name of Rav that a person לעולם אל יביא אדם על עצמו ניסיון. Don't ask for a ניסיון. Don't be such a hero. Don't come to Hashem and say, yeah, you can test me. Because if Hashem will want to test you, He will make a nothing out of you. Now comes a very big question, that this is what we want to address in this class. What does Hashem want from Avraham Avinu? The guy is like the number one Jew in history. Why are you testing him all day long? What do you want from him? Do you need him to prove that he likes you? He went against the entire world to prove that you exist. Why you test? Leave the guy alone. The guy is 75 years old. He is in Haran. He has already a business going on. He has a whole organization for outreach. He's doing amazing. He's the rabbi of Haran. Why are you telling him go out of Haran now? Why you keep testing him? What does Hashem want from Avraham Avinu? Now, the question here develops into another question. Okay, so we will find out what Hashem wants from Avraham Avinu. But who is the test for? Is the test for Hashem to see how Avraham Avinu will react? Or is the test for Avraham Avinu? Who's getting the test here? What, Hashem doesn't know Avraham Avinu's situation? Hashem doesn't know what's going to be the outcome? Hashem sees everything. Hashem sees into the future. He doesn't know what's going to happen? So who is the test really for? For Avraham Avinu or for Hashem? Who's under the test here? When Hashem puts me under a test, He wants to see what am I going to do? But Hashem knows what I'm going to do. So in essence, one can say the test is for me, not for Hashem. Right?
Well, Hashem won't test Himself.
Excuse me?
Hashem will test Himself?
Hashem doesn't test Himself. Hashem tests us.
So obviously,
So Hashem wants to see. Obviously, the test is for me, not for Hashem. One can argue and say, Hashem is testing me to see how I will react. If I'll choose to do good or choose not to do good. But really, the test is for myself. And if this is the case, then why is Hashem testing Avraham Avinu? Don't you know that He's already loyal to you? Don't you know that He's willing to do anything for you? He jumped into the fire for you. Why are you testing Him? This is a question that we want to address, and of course we want to learn from that. Why are we getting tested? Yeah, why? Well, what does Hashem want from us? What's the concept of the test? So, first we have to understand a little bit of the history of what's going on. So we know Parashat Vayeira is a continuation of the Parashat Lech Lecha. Some see it as one big parasha. It's the same concept from the beginning of the journey of Avraham till the end of the journey of Avraham. Our sages, Mi Lech Lecha ad Lech Lecha, because the last parasha starts with the word Lech Lecha, and this parasha, Parashat Vayeira, will end with the words Lech Lecha, when Avraham Avinu is tested to slaughter his son. Hashem tells Avraham Avinu the same commandment, Lech Lecha. So it starts with the Parashat Lech Lecha with the words Lech Lecha, and ends in Parashat Vayeira also with the words Lech Lecha. And the entire two parashot are starting and covering all the history of Avraham Avinu. Now, it starts that Avraham Avinu lives in Haran, which is not such a great place, but Avraham already established his entire movement over there. He has a big community. He's the rabbi of Haran. He's converting people. He's teaching people. He already made a stamp there. That's already way after Nimrod fought with him and threw him into the fire. That was different arguments in the Midrash, if it's 40 years after that, 30 years after that. But either way, he already passed the test with Nimrod. And one even considers that the whole thing with Nimrod wasn't even a test. But we'll get to that in a second. But the point is that Avraham starts in Haran. Suddenly Hashem tells him, go, pack your bags and leave. Avraham Avinu, being a good Jew, packs his bag, takes his wife, packs the property, takes the thousands of the students, and yalla, we're going. And they leave. And they start going on a journey. The second they start going on the journey, starts the problems. Every poor place that they go, starts problems. The first problem they hit, they come into Canaan, and a famine. There's nothing to eat. The people of Canaan tells him, you're bad news, you, Avraham Avinu. We don't want you here. We never had a famine here. You just came to our territory and starts a famine. Go out of here. We don't want you. He packs his bag again. I don't know if you ever had that headache to relocate every 2 months. Relocating, moving, that's a big headache. Packing all your stuff and unpacking and the movers and the storage and this and just imagine the poor guy. He's settled already, bought some property. No, we don't want you here. But he told him, get lost. You are a bad luck. They kick him out and he goes to Mitzrayim. Now what happens in Mitzrayim? He just enters into Mitzrayim, his wife gets taken. Not only that his wife gets taken, now he has to prove how he's not connected to her, so they're not going to kill him. So he has to lie, he has to make up a story, and not only that, he's without his wife, he's worried. The amazing thing is that the people in Mitzrayim, their values were a little bit wrong. They were very strict with not taking a woman that belongs to a man. That they were very strict with. But to kill somebody, that's no problem. So what they would do, if there was a woman that she's married, they would kill the husband. Now she's not married anymore, and we can take her. So that was their common sense. Very, very religious when it came to being with a woman that belongs to a man. But to chop his head off, that's okay. So Avraham Avinu said, listen, I have to make up a story here. Now Avraham Avinu was counting on the merits of Sarah Imenu. Right? You know, every Shabbat when we sing a song, we sing Eshet Chayil. What do we sing? Ubatach balev ba'ala. And Avraham is going on Avraham Avinu that he trusted the power of Sarah. He knew Sarah is powerful. Ubatach ba, and he trusted in her, lev ba'ala, the heart of Avraham Avinu, he trusted Sarah. Therefore, he said, okay, I'm going to have to lie. I'm going to have to make up a story, and I'm going to be saved. And sure enough, that's what happened. Later on, of course, it was found, and he got kicked out of Mitzrayim too. But how did he get kicked out of Mitzrayim? With a lot of money. V'shalal lo yechsar. This is what we sing in Eshet Chayil. Shalal means, all the goods. Lo yechsar. He came out from Mitzrayim b'mikne kaved. He came with thousands and thousands of animals, donkeys, sheep, cows, male servants. He came out of Mitzrayim, a Bill Gates. And then comes out of Mitzrayim again, another smack to the face. A war starts. He's sitting and he bought himself a little territory, starts a war, a big war. The Russians, the Americans, the Koreans, and the Iranians, they all start fighting with each other, 4 big kings. And a whole big war starts. 4 big kings. They start fighting. I mean, there are 5 kings, but the war was between 4 kings. So it started with 4 kings. You're right. There was 5 kings, but the war started from 4 directions. The war. Now, Avraham Avinu is sitting in between. How can you be in a war zone? So again, relocate again. Now comes another headache. Lot is being captured. Now what? Again, another problem. He was being captured, and of course they knew that Lot is Avraham Avinu's nephew. So they took him with him. Now Avraham Avinu has to call all of his men. He took 318 guys and they go into war. 318, yeah. Yeah, so Avraham Avinu had some secret weapons.
But they say that it was one only people, only Elazar.
Yeah, okay, there's one opinion that says it was only Elazar that fight with him. Avraham Avinu had special sand that he threw the sand and the sand became into spears. So when spears. Avraham Avinu had special sand that he took the sand and he threw the sand and it became spears. So yeah, there's one opinion that says that the 318 men is Eliezer, one guy. So long story short, going into war again. This is not good for business. Not good for business, not good for family relations. So we see that Avraham Avinu full of problems. Then he gets Lot back. Now he has to move again. Another relocation. He has to move to Gerar. Imagine, already 4 times he has to move within this period. And then again what happens? Again Sarah gets taken. Another problem. So you see that one after the other, problem after problem after problem, and we think we have problems. Now comes even a bigger problem. Avraham Avinu celebrates his 86th birthday. Sarah celebrates her 77th birthday. No kids. Avraham Avinu says, what is all this good? I have land, I have sheep, I have cattle, I have money, I have everything. But I don't have a son. Who am I going to give it to? What is it worth for me? Even a big problem. Comes Hashem and says, don't worry, I'm going to give you kids. Oh, really? Makes Avraham very happy. He's not questioning Hashem. He's just very happy. Oh, good. How? Sarah says, listen, I can bring babies. Bring in another woman. Another woman? I don't want another woman. Sarah says, listen, I'm not going to have babies. We've got to bring another lady here. Avraham Avinu says, I don't want another lady. Okay, but you, that's what you want. Bring in another woman. Sure enough, he has a kid with her. And he loves the kid very much. Even though the kid grows up to be a wicked kid, but Avraham Avinu loves him deeply, very deep he loves him. That's his son. And of course, later on comes the miracle and Sarah has another baby. Has a baby, and whoop, now I have 2 kids. One kid comes from the servant, and another kid comes from Sarah. Now I have 2 boys. Baruch Hashem, Avraham is very happy. He doesn't see much of a difference. Avraham Avinu was total chesed. He saw Ishmael with all of his problems, and he loved them dearly. And of course, now comes the big nisayon. Avraham Avinu gets the order from Hashem, go and kill your son. Now this is not so obvious in the parasha, But the commandment was to kill both sons. Not only one. Both sons. The first one, of course, was Yitzchak, to put him on the altar. And the other son, he kicks him out of the house. Hashem tells him, get rid of him. So, doesn't matter. That's another nisayon. Coming from the Kadosh Baruch Hu, kill both of your sons. One of them is Yitzchak for putting him on the altar, and Ishmael, get rid of him. What does Abraham send him? With a bottle of water that runs out after 2 minutes? That's a nisayon. Doesn't matter right now that it came in an indirect way from Sarah, but he's facing a big nisayon. I have to kill both my sons. That he loves dearly, the same. He doesn't see right now the fault of Ishmael. It was Sarah that saw. And of course, comes another nisayon here, that Sarah sees one day that Ishmael is doing idol worship, and she says, he's out. Throw him out. And he has to obey, and he knows, I'm going to kill my other son. I'm going to send him into the desert. What does he send him? With a little pitcher of water. So we see here that Avraham Avinu didn't have it easy. That we have the chutzpah to whine and to complain that we don't have it easy. Avraham Avinu was I can't rate him necessarily as the number one, but he was definitely ranked one of the high ones, and he has to go through all these problems. So much more so me. Now, of course, comes different of opinions, and we do have a Mishnah that we learned that Avraham Avinu was tested 10 times. Why was he tested 10 times? The Mishnah says to show how great he was. And of course, comes the big questions. What are these tests? So there is one opinion, that's the opinion we go by, and that's the opinion of Rambam, and he names all the tests. So the first test is, of course, Lech Lecha. The first test was to go out of their land. The next test was the famine in Israel and going down to Egypt. The third test was that Sarah was taken. Fourth test was the war, the big war with all the kings. Number 5, that he had to take Hagar for a woman. That was a big test. Number 6, that he had to circumcise himself. Number 7 is taking Sarah to the house of Avimelech. Number 8 was the kicking Hagar out of the house. Number 9 was kicking Ishmael out of the house. And of course, number 10 is the sacrifice of Yitzchak. These are the 10 tests that Avraham Avinu went by, that he had to go through. Of course comes a big question, what about the test that he had to be thrown into the fire? Isn't that a test? That seems like a pretty big test. Rambam says, we're not considering it as a test because it's not in the Torah. It's in a Midrash. We're going by what's written in the Torah. And if you go by the Midrash, then Avraham Avinu had 50 tests. So since Ur Kasdim, the throwing of Avraham Avinu into the fire, is not written in the Torah, we're not consider it one of the 10 tests. This is, the Ur Kasdim is in a Midrash. It doesn't say in the Torah that Avraham Avinu was thrown into the fire. This is a Midrash. Yeah, he just says, I just took you from Ur Kasdim. Yeah, but the Midrash is the one that comes and says that he was thrown into the fire. Rambam says, I'm sorry, it's not written in the Torah, I'm not taking it as a test, therefore Rambam doesn't count it as a test. And, of course, there's another interpretation why Ur Kasdim is not considered as a test, because Hashem wanted to see how much Avraham Avinu is willing to lose everything. Meaning that, including his belief. So, we continue and we're saying, when a person becomes closer to Hashem, right away will be a test. And this is a big question of any individual that becomes closer to Hashem, whether it's a Baal Tshuva or a convert, that you'll have a good run, and then you hit the first test. Not too long ago, we had a very special lady and their family. They were all converting, and they were all very excited, and they were all hyped up, and my wife told her, listen, not that I want to blow the sails out of your wind, but when you come out of the mikveh, the Yetzer Hara comes out of the mikveh with you. Now you're all excited. You don't have a Yetzer Hara. I'm just just want to lay down the foundation, just that you know that when you come out of the mikveh, you're still soaking wet. The Yetzer Hara comes out of the mikveh with you and right away he's going to already slam you. So, don't get too excited. So, of course, not saying in a negative way, but either it's a Baal Tshuva or a convert, they'll have a very good run and then starts the tests. And the Baal Tshuva will say, wait a minute, I'm feeling lost here. And it brings the person into a big confusion. And I will become closer to Hashem, and I would expect, things should get much better now, no? Suddenly I see I get fired from my job because I'm observing Shabbat, and we don't want you here. Now I'm unemployed. My tshuva is not making my life better. And suddenly my family is not accepting me, and suddenly this is not working out, and that is not working out. And I'm like, what's going on here? I'm coming closer to Hashem, and I'm just getting slammed into my face. Isn't me getting closer to Hashem supposed to give me a better life? Now I'm suffering. What's going on here? I'm basically suffering a loss here. That's a big question, and it's not only that. A Baal Tshuva, I know many Baal Tshuvas, they lost their career. I have a very good friend who was a top-notch photographer in the modeling industry. He couldn't take pictures anymore. The girls are not so tznius. He lost his career. He started taking pictures of bar mitzvahs. From taking pictures for L'Oreal and Revlon and all these big companies, suddenly he's taking pictures of a 13-year-old guy, like he smile, and he lost his career. So, that's a big test. And he kept telling me, isn't there a loophole? Can't I take pictures of the ladies? I told him, listen, you come with a beard and a kippah and a tzitza. You're going to take pictures of the half-naked models? This is a Chilul Hashem already. He literally lost his career. Wow. And how many times? It's more than that. How many times a person became observant and became a divorce from that? Yeah. One person is observant and the other one says, listen, I don't want to be with you anymore. So we see in many situations that a Baal Tshuva gets very excited, gets very closer to Hashem. When I'm saying Baal Tshuva equal to a convert, same idea. How many times converts decided to convert, the whole family doesn't talk to them anymore. The whole reality changed. So when I'm using the term Baal Tshuva, it's for any person that changes their path, whether it's a convert, a person that was born religious and became not observant, and became back observant. Either way, when I have the motion of getting closer to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, I'm expecting life to become a little bit better. Hey, I'm doing my act here. I need more parnasah. I need you to send me a wife, kids, whatever it is. And the reality is that I bump into a wall. I suddenly see the reality is that not only that life is not getting better, it's becoming worse. It throws me off. Where does it really throw me off? In my emunah, in my belief. Not necessarily in my behavior. Rather, it will throw me off in my belief. Wait a minute. I'm observant here, and now life is becoming worse. So it throws off the balance of my belief. And that's a big problem. There is a saying by an unbelievable tzaddik. He's known as Meir from Parmishlan. He was a student of the Baal Shem Tov. And he says, in Hebrew, Adam tafus be'atzmo. A person is very involved in himself. And he gives a parable. At one time, there was a person who got fired from his job. Staying all day long at home, not working and everything, affected him. So he started to develop all sorts of bad habits. And then he started drinking. And every day he goes to the bar and he drinks and he drinks and he drinks. Comes home, violent, hits the wife hits him, the whole house is a mess. At some point the wife tells him, listen, Habibi, I'm not willing to take this. If you're not going to get your act together, if you're not going to clean yourself, by Rosh Chodesh, you're out of the house. Okay, comes Rosh Chodesh, he wakes up in the morning, he goes to the bar. As he's approaching the bar, a little bit of his conscience, like saying, listen, man, I don't want to lose my wife, I don't want to lose my kids, and he doesn't know what to do. Should I go? Should I not go? And he starts smelling the alcohol. He's like, let me go in. Wow. And he's about to go in, and his Yetzer Hara is telling, listen, you're going to lose everything that you have. I suggest you don't do that. And his saliva is already tasting the alcohol, and he wants to go in, and his Yetzer HaTov is saying, listen, you're going to do a mistake here. And Baruch Hashem, the Yetzer HaTov won, and he makes a U-turn and he goes home. He walks into the home, opens the door, he sees a mirror, he looks in the mirror and says, you know what? After all, I have willpower. I'm strong. I'm a great guy. I was able to overpower the Yetzer Hara. Why don't you bring me a cup of whiskey? So, he was able to overpower his own Yetzer Hara, but when he was tapping himself on the shoulder, why don't we drink L'chaim for that? So, Rabbi Meir from Bar Mishlan says, you know, a person is very hooked in his own selfness. Adam tafus be'atzmo. That he can't get away from his own ego for 1 second. This is a saying here that comes to teach us that sometimes I'm stuck in my own ego. Can't get away from my own ego. So Hashem comes now, and we see that Hashem comes to test Avraham Avinu, not for the sake of Hashem. Hashem wants to see if Avraham Avinu is willing to let go of himself, not to be thrown into a fire. You know, one opinion says it wasn't such a big deal to be thrown into the fire, because Avraham Avinu had an agenda, and he believed that if me being thrown to the fire will allow the cause to grow, it's worth it. You know, now with all the terrorists that they kill themselves, it started for one. Right. One guy in Yemen that burned himself with fire. And then everybody jumped into there because he had a cause. Avraham Avinu said, listen, if I will be pushed into the fire and I'll die on Kiddush Hashem, one day somebody will come and say, wait a minute, maybe this guy has something valid here. Maybe they'll start interrogating and finding out, and if this will serve the cause, good, I'll go into the fire. So this is not really a test. This is serving my agenda. The test is if you're willing to let go of yourself. That's what Hashem wanted to see with Avraham Avinu. Are you willing to let go of your own existence? That's why we're quoting Rabbi Meir, that's saying the person is too hooked on himself. He's willing to do many things, but not about losing himself. When it's coming about my own self, I'm willing to do many things, but when it comes to my own private agenda, to my own reality, that's no way I don't want to be tested so much. And this is the real test. Hashem said, I want to test Avraham. Of course, later on it's referring to us. He wanted to see if Avraham is willing to let go of his entire existence, is to make himself a nothing. That's where the test came to Avraham Avinu. And Hashem wanted to see if Avraham Avinu is willing to give up himself. Not by jumping into the fire. That's not giving up yourself. Rather give up your money, your wife, your kids. Avraham Avinu, it says, there's an opinion in the Midrash that says that if Avraham Avinu would have slaughtered Yitzchak, he wouldn't be able to live with himself. How did I kill my own son? So Hashem, the test here, the test now is going on Avraham Avinu. Later on we'll see how it's affecting us. Hashem wants to see if Avraham Avinu is willing to let go of himself. Now, very interestingly, in the book of Tanya, the Baal Tanya is talking about a certain madriga, a certain level of a Jew. And he calls it a Beinoni. There is a level that is called a tzaddik. There's two levels of tzaddik. Tzaddik gamur, tzaddik she'eno gamur. A complete tzaddik and an incomplete tzaddik. And then rasha gamur, a total wicked person. And even in that level, there's the rasha gamur, rasha she'eno gamur, different levels. And then in between, there's a Beinoni. Now we're holding that a Beinoni is a person that has 50% mitzvot, 50% sins, like all of us. The level of the Beinoni in the book of Tanya, this is a level that we can just dream of. This is a person that doesn't know even one sin. But the definition that he puts on the Beinoni is a person that is willing to forgive somebody that did something bad deliberately to them, and on top of that, to do good to that person. That's a Beinoni. Not only that I'm willing to forgive you after you did something deliberately against me, I will support you. There is a story that was once, there were two individuals, and one guy had to be, he wanted to get out of a certain problem with the government. So he ratted out another individual. And that individual had to go to jail for many years. Later on, tables have turned, and the person who ratted out on the individual who sat in jail, everything turned around. The person that was sent in jail came out, and the person that ratted out went into jail. Now you would think that person A would say, now he's getting his revenge. The person A that was ratted on in the beginning went to the wife of the person who ratted on him and said, how long is your husband going to be in jail for? She told him so and so times. So he says, okay, I know you need X amount of money per month to sustain yourself, and he supported her. So you see that not only that he forgave the person who went against him and threw him into jail, he went and he assisted his wife. He supported the wife and the kids. So the definition, I mean, it's a very broad definition, but part of the definitions of the level of the Beinoni based on the Baal HaTanya is that a person that is willing to forgive somebody that deliberately hurt him, and not only that, later on, it says, Metivito vegomelo tovot. He does good to him and he's giving even more. Totally forgive you, like this never existed. So, we learn from that Hashem is testing Avraham Avinu, but also us, how much you're willing to lose. This is the test. How much you're willing to lose and want from yourself. So of course comes again the question, so what's the point here? What does Hashem really want? So you want to test me how much I'm willing to use? Why does it have to come in that form? What does Hashem really, what's the bottom line? What is it good for? That's the bottom line. Let's now forget Avraham Avinu. Us. Hashem is testing me on a daily basis. Constantly. Big tests, small tests. One can look up to Shammai and say, Hashem, what do you want from me? What do you want? What is it good for? What is it good for? It's making my life miserable. It's not making me a better Jew. At least on the surface, it doesn't seem like it. If I'm now putting through a test, then I don't see the benefit in it. I just see the negative part in it. What does Hashem want? Why? I'm trying to come closer to you, Hashem. Why are you putting stumbling blocks? Why are you making it harder on me? Why are you making the fact that I get fired now from my job? Oh, I don't have parnasa. Oh, I can't find my other half. Oh, I can't have kids. Oh, I found my other half, Baruch Hashem, but all day long I'm fighting. Why? It's not that I'm being a wicked person and I can understand. A wicked person, punish them. I'm trying to get close to you. Why are you putting these speed bumps all the time? What is it good for? Now, there's two explanations for this concept. One is a very simple explanation, and we know that about 2,300 years ago, the ruling of the land was under the ruling of the Greek, Shilton Yavan, the Greece empire. They ruled here. And there was a certain individual, a certain woman. Her name was Chana, even though for some opinions that wasn't her name, but there was a certain individual, Chana, and she had 7 boys. One day, the soldiers, they come, they arrest her with all 7 boys, and they take her to Antiochus, to the king. And he tells the first boy, bow to this idol. First boy says, no, I will not bow to any idol. He says, I'm going to kill you. He says, you can kill me. I'm not bowing to an idol. Sure enough, they kill the boy. They take the next boy, bow to the idol. I'm not bowing to the idol. I'm going to kill you. You can kill me. Kills the second boy. And then the third and the fourth and the fifth, they kill all the boys. Then he comes to number 7. 6 boys already killed in front of their eyes. Comes to the little boy, he's 4 years old. The little 4-year-old is frightened, holding his mother's dress, hiding behind the dress, and he calls him over. Now he knows the little boy is a different scenario. He says, listen, little boy, I'm not going to ask you to bow for an idol, but please pick up my ring that fell on the floor. The boy was smart, and he says, I'm not going to do anything that shows any type of emotion of subduing myself to you. He says, but I'm not asking you to bow. He says, I'm not bowing. But you commanding me to pick up the ring, I don't want to do any action that shows that I'm humbling myself in front of you. You are nothing. He says to the boy, I'm going to kill you too. He says, you can kill me. And sure enough, he kills the boy. The mother falls on the body of the little boy, a 4-year-old boy, and she tells him, go to Avraham Avinu in Shamayim and tell him that he only sacrificed 1 boy and I sacrificed 7 boys. And up until today, what is echoing in this story, what we learn from this story, that the echo of the sacrifice of Avraham Avinu the test was not for Avraham Avinu. It was for the crowd. It was the ones who are looking. There's a very big difference. The whole show of Avraham Avinu is that when we look at it, it will serve to us as an example, and we will do the same thing. So really the Nisayon of Avraham Avinu was not a Nisayon for Avraham. It is for us, the crowd, to look and to say, oh, I'm going to do the same, like Avraham Avinu. So this story comes to say, yeah, why did they kill themselves? Because they said Avraham Avinu was willing to kill himself, we also. So really, you can look at it in a completely different way. And this is the opinion, by the way, this is not something that I'm making up. This is the opinion both of Ramban and Rashi. That they say the tests were not for Avraham Avinu. The tests were the ones to see what would be the result. Avraham Avinu didn't need the test. The test is for us. Avraham Avinu was tested that for me to see how to react, how to behave. This is the opinion, both of Rambam and Rashi, they both agree that this is the test. This is the reason. But again, we're getting to, this is one explanation, I told you this too. We're still stuck with the question, why is Hashem putting me through a challenge? So there's a story that I heard not too long ago, which is a very, very interesting story, about a certain young individual. His name was Nachman. It's not Nachman from Breslev, it's a Nachman that his last name was Sudak. And he lived about 100 years ago, maybe 120, no, maybe less than 100 years ago, under the regime of Stalin, probably in the early 1900s. And since the communism was so severe, they couldn't participate in anything. So a lot of people, what they do is they used to relocate far away and thought maybe the KGB will not find us here. So families would relocate to different places. His family was a little boy. His family relocated to Samarkand, to Uzbekistan, a faraway place. He said, okay, the KGB will not look for us here. Here we can live quietly. Okay, now he was an 8-year-old boy. The parents registered him to a cheder. Now, going to the cheder, he has to carry with him the book, like this. Now, he was very afraid. He was very afraid that a policeman will stop him. So what would he do? He would wake up early in the morning and go to the cheder while it was dark. That way it's dark, nobody really sees what's going on. And he would come back after the sun went down. So he would come very home late. He made it out of fear. Now he had a problem. Came Shabbat. He had to come early. So one time on Erev Shabbat on Friday, he walks home and he's holding his book. And a policeman stops him. Hey kid, what are you doing here? I'm walking home. What is it in your hand? Oh no, some stories that my grandmother wrote. Policeman opens the book, sees Hebrew, doesn't understand, close the book. He tells him, what's your number of your school? All the schools had numbers. So the little Nachman figured that he'll throw some number and the policeman will not really know where it belongs to, and sure enough, that's what he did. And he threw the number and the policeman let him go. He starts walking away, but he feels the policeman is behind him. Looks behind, the policeman is following him. So he goes up and down and around and in and out inside, and he keeps looking, and the policeman is behind him. And he's all shaking, what's going to happen now? And he's going in and up and down and into an alley and this, and he knows the policeman is behind him. If he's going to follow him home, he's going to find his home, he's going to get his parents, and he's going to interrogate them. And he was very afraid. B'kitzur, at some point, he came home and he got rid of the policeman. Later on, he became a very big rabbi. At some point, he became the chief rabbi of England. His name is Nachman Sudak. He actually passed away a few years ago. He became one of the big top rabbis in England. And once they asked him, what was the thing, the source that gave you the energy to sustain the fear? What caused it? Like, how did you were able to where did you bring that Mesirut Nefesh from? Because they really had to live under self-sacrifice. Every day was a Mesirut Nefesh. I mean, you would get killed for going into a mikveh. Not talking about something even more. Learn Torah, right away you get killed. So he told them, the few moments of holding the book, that's what gave me the power. The fear. That fear that I was holding the book, that's what brought it out. The couple hours that I was afraid, it got me connected to the book. Create a connection between me and the book. He was holding a chumash. He was an 8-year-old boy. All they learn is just the Torah. And he said, just holding the book and being afraid and running around and moving around, that's what brought out of me this mesirut nefesh, this power of self-sacrifice. And the test has the ability to bring the best out of me. When I'm taking a very big step, you know how when we were kids, we would go up steps and we would take like a very big step, see who can take as more steps as possible. One takes 2 steps at a time. A person has a long leg, takes 3 steps at a time. Remember that game? We did that when we were kids. Everybody does that. When you take a very big step, you kind of like, you're shaking, you're about to fall. But when you get up to the new step, you jumped many, many different steps. So the nisayon has the ability to bring the best out of me. And that's literally the essence of the nisayon. In the moment of the nisayon, of the test, I'm very confused. It's a moment of confusion. Why? Why is Hashem doing it? Why is it not working out? And while you're in the turmoil of the test, it's a moment of confusion. And not only that, you're not 100% sure in yourself if you have the power to overcome this nisayon. You're stuck in the nisayon, and you're saying, Hashem, I can't get out of this. I can't fight this. This wave, it's above my ability. How many times we reach into a nisayon, whatever it is, and I find myself in a state of confusion, like in a whirlpool, turning around and around, and I feel that I'm going down and down, and I get to some point and I say to Hashem, I don't know how to get out of it. What's the solution here? But that's happening during the nisayon. But the essence is, if a Kadosh Baruch Hu already gave me the nisayon, the rule is that it means that I can handle it. If already Hashem put me through a nisayon, it means that I can handle it. It means that I have not only the abilities, that I have the option of handling it. And the point is that right now maybe I'm in a much lower place, but the nisayon brings me to a much, much higher place. Like taking a big leap with a big step brings me to a much, much higher place. The problem is that during the nisayon, that I'm confused. I don't know if I have the power, or if I am going to be able to go out of it. But the rule is that if the Kadosh Baruch Hu put me in a nisayon, means that I have the power to do it. He will not put me through a nisayon knowing that I can't handle this. And each person gets a nisayon according to their level. Now, in order for me to rise to a higher level, it has to be effort. If I now want to climb upstairs, I mean, I feel bad for the ladies. We go to the mikveh of the Arizal. We have the schut, you know what a schut it is to go to the mikveh? But with the mikveh comes 400 steps. 400 steps to go from the cemetery to the street. 400 steps. My wife tells me, go and work out. I don't need to work out. I go to the mikveh of the Ri. Right? It's like Rocky Balboa, riding up all these stairs. After that, it's like, this is a workout of like 3 days, going up the stairs. Every time that I take men with me, after the first 50 steps, you go, this is not a joke. 400 steps, it seems like, going down, you go real fast. Then when you look up, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to go all this up now? So every time I go up to the top, I literally feel like I'm Rocky. I just don't want to go like this. People think I'm nuts. But the reality, going up all these 400 stairs, I tell my wife, I don't need to do any workouts. I go to the mikveh of the Ri. But what do we learn from that? That you wanna go up in your levels, you gotta work hard. You wanna go up in your spiritual level, Hashem wants to elevate you to a higher madriga, it's gonna have to come now with a lot of hard work. This is called resistance. If I'm gonna go now to the gym, I'm gonna go to the best gym in town. the best equipment. I'm going to pay top dollar. If I'm going to sit down on the gym chair and sit like this, nothing's going to happen. I need to move. Now, if I'm going to take a little stick and there's no weights on it and I'm just going to go like this, nothing's going to happen. I have to put plates of weights so I can have resistance. And I have to push. And I have to work hard. It's called litametz, to work, to push. So if I want to go one level to another level to another level, it has to be ma'amatz, have to be an effort. And it's not easy. Everything that I want to do in life is hard. You want to be a doctor? What do you think? You're just going to walk in and out and get a diploma? You have to sit for 10 years and learn. And learn a lot of material and be tested. Now comes a bigger question. Okay, I understand that the test is for me to grow to a higher level. But Hashem, I want to grow to a higher level regardless. Why does it have to be with a test? Hashem, I'm now declaring I want to become a better Jew. Why does it have to come in a negative way? Seemingly, of course. One might answer, let's ask, listen, Hashem, well, I don't understand why you're torturing me. It's not that I'm going away from the Torah. I'm going towards the Torah. I want to become a much better Jew, a much better person. Why are you making it harder on me? Hashem says, I want more of you. That's the answer that Hashem will give us. I want more of you. And the more you give in, the more you give away from yourself, that's what Hashem wants. Hashem wants you to get rid of your selfness, of your existence, your ego. That's the test. Hashem says, the more you give over from yourself, that's what I want. That's what Hashem wanted from Avraham Avinu. Bottom line, that's what Hashem wanted from Avraham Avinu. He didn't want anything else. He knew Avraham Avinu is aiming to the top. Hashem says, okay, I will test you where you're giving from yourself. Whether it's the moving constantly, giving your money, giving your wife, giving your child, giving your other child. That was the test. That's what Hashem said, I want more of you. That's what Hashem tells us. I want more of you. I want you to give over a little bit more. That you humble yourself. Of course, when a person humbles himself, then they reduces the nisayon. Now here comes another explanation. When Hashem puts us in a nisayon, He holds us as a tzaddik. Because when I pass the nisayon, I'm like a tzaddik. Now, who does Hashem test? Hashem doesn't test wicked people. He tests only the tzaddikim. You're not going to find anywhere in the Tanakh that Hashem tested Korach, or He tested Haman, or He tested... Hashem doesn't test the Rashaim, the wicked people. Hashem only will test the tzaddik. So, if I'm already fighting a test, what does it mean? Hashem is holding me in a very high madrega. That Hashem is holding me in a very high level that He thinks, I think highly of you. If I put a test in you, it's because I think very highly of you. More than that, if Hashem already put a test on me, it means that Hashem has the complete trust. And He knows I'm able to overpower this test. So maybe I'm not thinking that, but Hashem knows that. Hashem says, if I put a test in you, is because I know you can do it. And the test is there only to bring me closer to Hashem, not to get me further away from Hashem. Now, of course, what I need to take from that is if there's already a test, it means that I can pass it. Hashem would not put a test in me if I can't pass. There's no such a thing. Even though I'm now stuck in this whirlpool, and I feel I'm going down and down and down, Hashem says, no, this is just an illusion. If I gave you a test, it means you have all the abilities and all the tools to pass it. Just have faith in yourself. So the same way that I'm willing to sacrifice many things in my life, people are willing to sacrifice all their fortune to invest into another business. Where do you get the nerve? Where do you get the courage? Suddenly you're investing all your money in a new adventure? Yeah, because I feel very confident here. Why is that not a nisayon? Why are you not willing to invest all your might and energy into going into a higher level? So when it comes to physical things, we're willing to invest a lot. Some men are willing to run after a woman for a year or 2 years till he gets her. Why are you willing to invest so much? So when it comes to mundane things, we're willing to give a lot of ourselves. When it comes to holiness, that's where I'm not willing to give over from myself. Hashem says, I want you to give over. I want you to give completely everything you have. I want you to have zero of yourself. That's the test. So when Hashem puts me through a test, I have to remember one thing, that Hashem sees me in a very high level, that He's willing to give me a test. He's not testing wicked people. More than that, I have all the abilities to go through the test. And the test is for me to get closer to Hashem, not to get further away from Hashem. And more than that, the test is for me to climb to a much, much higher level. And ultimately what Hashem wants is Hashem just wants me to give in, to have no existence of myself, rather to the existence of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So B'ezrat Hashem, what we want to take from that is that the next time that we face a test, and unfortunately we have about 15 of them every day, that to take it in the right proportion and saying, no, Hashem just wants the good for me. Hashem wants me to be closer to Him. Hashem wants to elevate me. Hashem doesn't, it's sort of punishment. It's an exercise. Now Hashem is putting me in a gym to want me to exercise here. And if I'm already during this test, must be that I can do it. Just now find all the ways how to do it. And the way to find how to do it is just to trust in Hashem. If I now in a financial problem, and I go to this bank and that bank, and to the uncle, and to this, and to the credit cards, am I putting my trust in Hashem? Yes, of course I have to do an action, what's called b'derech hateva, with nature. But is my faith in the bank, or my faith is in Hashem? I would run first to the synagogue and pray, and learn Torah, then I would go to the bank. Because my faith has to be in Hashem, not in the bank. Of course I have to do some type of a physical action to go, to try. But the initiative has to be first, trust Hashem. And this is one example out of many when it comes to money. In any test that I have, the test is how much I'm willing to trust Hashem. How much I'm willing to give the problem to the Kadosh Baruch Hu and say, Hashem, I will do what I'm supposed to do. I will believe in you. I will trust you. I will do whatever I need to do to not get disconnected from you. You do the rest. And I'll do according to nature what I'm supposed to do. And that's the core of the test. How much I'm willing to trust Hashem. And that means, in other words, how much I'm willing to give of myself. Am I trusting myself that I will go and create the solution? Or if I'm trusting Hashem? Many people, unfortunately, they can't find their other half. So they're on all the dating services. And they go to all the singles events and everything, which is good. Do a little bit. But if you think that if you're going to now do some action and you're going to make it that you're going to find your other half by putting a little bit more makeup or a nicer dress or go to all the singles events, no, that's not going to change much. Go to 2-3 of the single events, put your profile on one website, deal with one shadchan. Hashem is the one who's going to send you. Put all your trust in Hashem, not in all the shadchanim. So chas v'shalom, I'm not putting anybody, not judging everybody. Of course, when you're in a test, you're under stress and you reach all the directions. But the bottom line is that the test is, Hashem says, give it over. Subdue yourself. Give the problem to me. Show me that you trust me. Show me that you believe in me. I will make the test disappear. That's the recipe how to get over the test. We don't able to fight the test because we don't have trust that Hashem is the one who's going to do that. And I'm trying to figure out a solution, like as if I have a solution. I don't have a solution. I just have to trust Hashem. I have to initiate something based on nature. I can't just sit like this and wait for it to be over. I have to do what's called ishtadlut, some effort. But I don't have to go cuckoo. I have to do a minimum ishtadlut, and the rest I have to leave to Hashem. And that's the nisayon. The test is how much I'm willing to trust the Kadosh Baruch Hu. How much I'm willing to give everything over to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Avraham Avinu woke up in the morning, saddled the donkey, took Yitzchak, didn't ask questions. Up until the moment that Yitzchak was already on the altar, he raises the knife. Then the nisayon disappeared. Why? Because the test is till the last moment, and how much trust you're going to have. He had trust. And because he had 100% trust, that's when the angel says, what? Stop right there. We were joking. Candid camera. Stop. What are you doing? So what I want to take from that is to summarize it. The test is good for me. Hashem is seeing me in a very high level. More than that, Hashem will give me all the powers to overcome the test. But mainly the test is for me to grow. Because Hashem wants me to grow, then He would put me under this test, mainly to see how much I'm willing to give over for myself. And the second I'm willing to give over, that's when the test will disappear. And this is proven 100%. And the second you're willing to give the responsibility to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you say, I have zero will here. Whatever's your will, that's what's going to happen. I don't have any will, any desire, any opinion. It's all you. Whatever you want to happen, that's what's going to happen. And the second that you're subduing yourself 100%, the bubble will pop. And whatever is going to happen is exactly what Hashem wants it to happen. And needless to say, that we will be elevated to a much higher place. That's why we can understand why we're still in exile. It's a test. We were being told that Mashiach is coming for 2,000 years, even more than that, and every day passes and we're losing our emunah. The test is to see if you're holding your emunah. So now the majority of people says, I don't have any belief anymore. You've been talking about Mashiach for so many years. He never came. I don't believe anymore. That's the test. Now when we believe that Hashem is going to still fulfill it, and it's all in the hands of the Kadosh Baruch Hu, and I'm not giving over my emunah, that's when Hashem is going to bring the Geulah. We're under a test here. So the ultimate test here is to just give over to the Kadosh Baruch Hu and say, Kadosh Baruch Hu, we believe in you. We believe you're going to send the Geulah. Bezrat Hashem. The only thing that I've led to tell you is that I wish you that your challenges should be very easy and clear. We can't get rid of our challenges, and we can't get rid of our tests. But my wish to you is that the challenge should be easy, and that you should overcome it in the best and most easiest and most smooth way possible. Bezrat Hashem, we have to remember that every challenge that we overpower, then we grow to a much higher level, and that's in essence what we want to do. Bezrat Hashem should have a beautiful, restful week.